Alright guys, we're gonna go over the homework. Isaac, where's your homework?
I'm sorry, Mr. Rose, I was sick.
Good. Come on during lunch, we can sort things out.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Rose. You wanted to see me?
This is something about airplane. Isaac, you need to start doing your homework.
Yeah, I know, Mr. Rose. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna start doing it.
Good. Well, as punishment, you get to clean all of those shapes. Start with this one.
And Mr. Rose handed me a toothbrush, demanding that I clean his polyhedra. Just because I didn't do the homework that was assigned while I was sick.
Okay, well, this is a clear violation of your constitutional rights, specifically the 8th Amendment, which states that cruel and unusual punishment shall not be inflicted upon anyone.
So are you saying we have a case against Mr. Rose?
We have more than a case. This is a clear violation of your constitutional rights. We're going to win for sure. We'll go to the district court first, as they have original jurisdiction, which means that they can review a civil case for the first time.
Well, this is great! I can finally get back at Mr. Rose for all those stupid math packets.
All rise. Now the opening statements from Mr. Wilson's team.
Your Honor, the jury. The prosecution's case is the following. Mr. Isaac Wilson, on Friday of June 10th, 2022, at 11:30 a.m., was forcibly required by Mr. Rose, his math teacher, to clean paper polyhedra with a toothbrush for not having turned in some homework. This is cruel and unusual punishment by Mr. Rose, and by the 8th Amendment of the United States is illegal.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson's team. Now the opening statements from Mr. Rose's team.
Your Honor, the jury. Mr. Rose is being unjustly condemned for inflicting cruel and unusual punishment on Mr. Wilson. Cleaning paper polyhedra with a toothbrush is a punishment for any student who doesn't turn in homework and is therefore not unusual.
Time for the presentment of the case. We'll start with an examination of a witness presented by Mr. Wilson's team. Please commence.
Your Honor, calling witness Mr. Zimi Sajati to the stand. Mr. Zimi Sajati, please introduce yourself and your profession to everyone.
Hello, I am Ahmad Azimi Sajati. I am a student of Blair and a pupil of Mr. Rose's.
Mr. Zimi Sajati, is it true that you usually eat lunch with Mr. Wilson?
Yes, indeed I do.
And is it also true that on June 10th of 2022, Mr. Wilson was not present during lunch?
Yes, indeed he was not.
And can you tell us what you did during lunch on that day?
When I noticed that Mr. Wilson was gone, I decided to go search for him. So first I went to Mr. Little's room, then Mr. Foster's. But I couldn't find him there, so I went to the place I go for my last resort, which is Mr. Rose's room. And I saw him in the room cleaning shapes.
And was Mr. Rose there with Mr. Wilson?
Yes, Mr. Rose was there. He was handing Isaac a toothbrush and pointing toward his shelf of shapes.
And what was your reaction to observing this incident?
I was stupefied in utter horror that Mr. Rose could give such a cruel and, dare I say, unusual punishment.
And have you ever heard of Mr. Rose punishing other students like this?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection. We now proceed to the examination of a witness for Mr. Rose's team. Please call your witness to the stand.
Thank you, Your Honor. Calling witness Mr. Colby Trenner to the stand. Mr. Trenner, please introduce your profession to everyone.
I'm Colby Trenner, and I'm a student at Blair and a student of Mr. Rose's.
Mr. Trenner, do you believe Mr. Rose's punishment on Mr. Wilson was cruel and unusual? Mr. Trenner, would you care to elaborate?
It's the punishment he gives to all students that don't do their homework.
So, you would say that the punishment is unusual?
No.
Would you say this punishment is cruel?
No. I rather enjoy cleaning shapes. I come in during every lunch to do it.
Of your own free will?
Of course.
There you have it, Your Honor. This witness testimony proves that the punishment administered by Mr. Rose was neither cruel nor unusual, and therefore is not protected under the 8th Amendment.
I hereby rule in favor of Mr. Rose. I declare this court adjourned.
I can't believe we lost the court case. This is so unfair.
Alright, it's alright. We can just appeal our decision to the 4th Circuit Court of Appeals.
But what happens if we lose there?
Oh, we just appeal to the Supreme Court.
Our local court case can make it all the way to the Supreme
Yep,
Court?
it's called appellate jurisdiction, which means that higher courts have the power to review a decision of the lower court and override it.
We received an appeal from the district court about a kid and his teacher. They ruled that the teacher's punishment wasn't cruel or unusual. True. After reviewing the evidence and case presented by the district court, I hereby rule in favor of Mr. Rose. As do I. And I. We hereby second the district court's ruling, and it's unanimous, so it's another per curiam decision.
This is ridiculous. How could they rule against us?
Don't worry, we'll appeal it to the Supreme Court, but first we have to petition for a writ of certiorari.
What's that?
So to have the Supreme Court hear your case, you need a petition for a writ, and if 4 of the justices agree to grant you the writ, you're granted the writ and they hear your case. This is called the Rule of 4.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we got this case. Wilson v. Rose, that's been petitioned to us. It's about a kid who's been cruelly and unusually punished by his teacher for not doing his homework. Let's vote to grant a writ. This is so dumb. Us 3 will vote against this. This is an important case. The 6 of us will vote for it. All right, this case gets a writ of certiorari because of the Rule of 4. Oh yes, this court is in session. Mr. Wilson's team, you may begin.
Justices of the Supreme Court. On June 10th, my client Isaac Wilson was forced by his calculus teacher, Mr. Rose, to clean paper polyhedra with a toothbrush. This was done simply based on the fact that Isaac Wilson had not done his homework on that day. This is a clear violation of Wilson's 8th Amendment protections, which states that no cruel or unusual punishment shall be inflicted.
Mr. Rose's team, you may begin.
This accusation is not valid. It is not cruel and unusual punishment, as Mr. Rose has begun to have this as the traditional punishment for not doing homework. Hence, it is not an unusual punishment, as they are claiming. After all, some students are even enjoying doing so.
Now that both sides have given their respective arguments, let's debate on what we're going to decide. Well, this is a cruel and unusual punishment case, which is protection from lies in the 8th Amendment. I've been looking at some cases related to this concept, and Furman v. Georgia stood out. It said the death penalty was cruel and unusual punishment in an accidental death in a burglary. Agreed, I thought of that as well. As I typically issue judicial restraint, I think we should vote in favor of Mr. Wilson, as this case is similar to a prior case that the court voted on. Of course, I believe if we don't do that, we would be undermining one of our core principles of stare decisis, the principle of holding our ruling to fit past precedent. Now wait just a minute. Just because there is a precedent, that doesn't mean we can't overturn it. That's why I enforce judicial activism, as I'm more willing to overturn and express my own opinions. Agreed, the appellate court had a unanimous ruling. We can't just ignore that, can we? My view is that the punishment hindered Mr. Wilson's individual rights, and I think we should vote in support of him. Let's have a vote. All in favor? Yay. Nay. Well, that is the decision in favor of Mr. Wilson. I'll write the majority opinion to express our reasoning for the decision. Okay, but I'll write a concurring opinion, as I have slightly different opinions to you about my decision. I'll do the dissenting opinion.